Our next presenter is Rupalim Hazarika. Lim is a 28-year-old person. They have done their masters in mathematics and are currently pursuing their second masters in sociology. They are currently preparing for civil services too. They have never held a formal job but do some online freelancing work as an editor. Their hobbies are reading, listening to music, and collecting stamps. They also do snail mail pen paling, but don't like reducing it to a hobby. They browse a lot, mainly on Twitter, and their special interest is gender and sexuality issues. Today, they will be talking about themselves and their struggles, how they try to make sense of themselves and the people around. Um, Lim, if you remember, Lim was our uh, mm, moderator in the last Sunday, and Lim did a pretty amazing job. Lim, yeah.
Okay, so it's been so nice listening to everybody, and the last session was also very helpful because we got to learn about so many important things. As for my presentation, I'm just going to share my personal story and my experience with my diagnosis, self-diagnosis, and hopefully it will give you an idea about how uh, how an autistic person's brains or minds or heart, whatever, how it works. Okay, and I actually kind of forgotten it was my turn to speak, so I'm a little nervous. So I apologize in advance for, I mean, whatever that's going to happen next. So, anyways, ever since childhood, I always felt I was different and that I don't belong anywhere. I was the kind of the typical introverted bookworm, and at times I wore labels like nerdy and quirky with pride. I took solace in books and reading. I read everything. I read books, I read newspapers, I read, uh, those labels. Like, I read everything. At one time, I was even obsessed with reading and keeping up with cable TV schedules and sports schedules and sports stats, even though we did not even have cable, or I did not even really watch that many uh, sports match, but I still liked keeping up with the stats, and like I just like knowing what is happening around me. I also remember I used to like I had to watch, you know uh, like the Olympics opening ceremony, or the opening ceremony for football World Cup, or like Oscars and Grammys. I think I was always very interested in humanities and celebrations of humanity. As I grew older, my childhood was kind of a, a little different because I was mostly homeschool, and I was allowed to just be myself and study in peace, and I only had to like go to school and write the exams, so I had a lot of freedom to be myself. Things changed when I turned 16, I think, and I went to college for higher studies. I had to live in hostels, and I had to socialize, right? So things were changing, and I think it was around that time, 2010, I got into MBTI personality theory. It's also one of my special interests, and it has been a consistent special interest since then. And when I learned about MBTI theory, it was like I had discovered some hidden key, because now I felt like I was finally able to decode myself. I was able to decode other people. Now I have like all the resource I need to connect with people and make friends, right? And so I really like, I mean, I got into MBTI really deep, and I studied about all kinds of personality types, and how you have to, not you have to, I mean, how you can get along with a personality type. And I try to apply it with the people around me, so now it has become like a habit to me. Then some when I get introduced to a new person, I would just ask their personality type. But what happened is that even after having the vast knowledge of MBTI personality theory and psychology, and I mean everything I could read about, those books, How to Make Friends and Retain People. I forgot the author name. But anyways, I did not really succeed in making and retaining friends, mostly because I really didn't care about the people around me. It was just nice and safer to be by myself. And I mean, I don't want to blame other people, right? Because I know I also have my flaws, but we just did not get along. And I did not like the kind of person I was expected to be just to be accepted by my peers, especially my classmates. uh, I did manage to make, however, some good friends. Most of them are either my junior or my senior, and I'm still in touch with some people like that. uh Anyways, at after I think the last year of university was when I was going through some personal struggles, and I was just trying to keep uh, myself sane, myself busy, myself occupied. And I discovered the wonderful world of internet. I got into TV shows and books, and I mean, I have always been reading books, but like I was now engaging with other fans of books and TV shows online. And one of the earliest shows I am a fan of is Supernatural, and there was another one also called Sense8, and I was really deep in the fandom, and it taught me so much about people and myself. And it was really nice because now I could meet people I could interact with, and I could connect with people who didn't mind talking about the things I like. And I also saw myself, I mean, like, it was finally like I was meeting people like me. Now actually I realized that many people among those are probably also autistic or neurodivergent. But anyway, internet space, internet fandoms, those became my escape and safe haven when I was really struggling to adjust to, the campus life and socializing and friendship and all those things. To quote a bit from Community, I can tell life from TV. TV makes sense, it has structure, it has logic, it has rules, and likable leading men. It's an amazing show. I really recommend it, at least the first 4 seasons. Also, another interesting fact, Abed was a character I related to very much. I think maybe somebody else would also be able to relate to him. He's really cool. And it was only during my autism research I learned that while writing and researching Abed's character, Community creator and showrunner Dan Herman realized that he could relate to a lot of stuff he was reading about. So this made him reach out for professional help, and later he got diagnosed with a form of Asperger's himself. Now, of course, we don't use that term Asperger's; we just use ASD. Actually, it was thanks to a TV show Fandom Discourse, I started considering the possibility that I might be autistic too. uh, it was one of the characters I could strongly relate it to, and I saw people were discussing how he was autistic and all, and I was like, if he is autistic, then what does that make me? Because even earlier I had related with characters like that, but I just blamed it on, not blame. I mean, I just thought it was because I was also quiet. I was also introvert. I was also uh, socially inadept. Is that a word? But so I did not really consider myself to be autistic, even though I wondered if I was neuro divergent too, because I thought maybe I'm ADHD because I could relate to a lot of things ADHD and other neurodivergent people were talking about. But anyways, it was that character that made me uh, research about autism. And as I started learning about autism, as I started following the conversation, and I mean, I just read and watched and everything I could find. I remember the last time there was a person who was speaking from the neuroclass Neuroclastic or something like that, a website, right? I had even read that website extensively. So after learning about autism, I could realize I could see that I was seeing autistic traits in myself. And the more I learned about autism, the more and more it became clearer that I was also autistic. And I realized that a lot of things I was um, you know uh, labeling as introvertedness and mild OCD and social anxiety, and um, in MBTI terms, introverted intuition and extroverted sensing, etc. So actually, they are all autistic traits. All these things about me, most of them, I think they are amazing. That I had accepted just as my quirks and my habits and myself. They are all autistic traits. I was not proudy, I was not unsocial, I was not social outcast, I was not an introverted oddball. I mean, I am introverted oddball, but all of that was because I'm just autistic. I felt sad because I realized that I was living a completely different life from other people, and it was like I was in my own world, right? And the things I was experiencing, the struggles I was going through, and the way I felt bad because I thought, I was why I was failing at this, and why am I not able to do that, even though people like me are having no trouble. So um, I realized that uh, it was just it was happening because I was basically living a different life, right? So it taught me to be kinder to myself, and I also felt relieved, and I felt at peace because all my life I have been wondering about myself, if there's anything wrong with me, why am I like this? And now I know that there's nothing wrong with me. I'm just autistic and also cute and funny, and low-key amazing. And there are so many other people like me who can relate to me, relate to my experiences, maybe not all, but I'm sure many. And it really gave me a sense of belonging, and that was really nice. Ah. Now for the resources and tools I use, I think I mentioned that I read a lot about. I read even research papers, and I read articles and blogs, and I watched a lot of YouTubers, and I even learned about their stories and their struggles and their coping mechanisms, and I learned about concepts like stimming and sensory processing disorder, about selective mutism, masking, and echolalia, among others. And I realized that I was doing all of them. I never related to anybody like that before. And it was like, all of my life was suddenly making so much sense. I also took the autism quizzes, and I know they're not really, they don't tell you much, but I made people I thought were really similar to me. I made them take the quizzes, and contrary to my expectation, their result was completely different. And I was like, oh, so I thought you would get a similar score like me, but it's not so. I also made them, read about DSM-5 along with me, and I asked them, "Can you relate to this and that?" And they were like, "Yeah, I can relate to this much, but not to the extent as you." And for the first time, I was realizing that even people I thought were like me were not really that much like me. They're just cool, nice, empathetic people who really love me and support me and accept me as I am. And right, tools, right? Yeah, I did the checklist of DSM-5 and ISA and the list of Rudy Simmons Asperger's. I have read the book, but I have my reservations. And I have also heard that there are other better books on autism. So currently I'm reading Neurotribes, and I'm liking it so far. Actually, I think for me, what was difficult was because I did not have a formal diagnosis. I really felt like an imposter. I felt like I was taking other people's spaces. Am I, like, is it just me trying to rationalize my lazy behavior or my failure as just I did not want to blame my life on autism, I think. And so I mean, maybe that's why I just kept researching on autism, and I wanted that validity. I mean, I wanted somebody to tell me that, yeah, you're autistic and that's fine. You're not, you're not. I mean, that it's really difficult to explain. I think formal diagnosis can be empowering for many people in that aspect. But now I have finally accepted that I really don't want a piece of paper to define myself. And it took me a lot of time, right? I think I have been on this journey from last year summer. Like, I mean, it was a huge change in my life. I mean, I had to, look at my whole life and, make sense of so many things. But I think I'm finally now okay with just being an autistic person, being a self-diagnosed autistic person. And currently I don't really need any validation from other people. Like, I don't have to look towards some doctor or some psychologist or some psychiatrist and tell me that, oh yeah, you are autistic. I think I feel like I am just, for now at least, I am okay, and I can finally accept myself for who I am, and it's nice. uh, Today's event has been really, I mean, so amazing because I did not have any space like this before, where so many people are, sharing their stories, and we are learning about, I mean, the same, the similarities and differences. And it's also so nice to see so many parents are here, and they're trying to maybe connect with their children. As for my own parents, I'm yet to discuss this seriously with them. But it's also recently I have learned that how accommodating and how accepting my parents have been of me. I mean, I realize now it's because of their accommodating behavior. I had a really easy life. They just accepted everything about me as just myself. I had a very supportive family from this angle, and I'm really grateful for them. I'm also very grateful for the few friends who also, accept me as myself, and they just get along with me. They just let me be myself unconditionally. Uh, I think this is it. I kind of got a little emotional and lost my train of thought, and it was also very self-centered, but I hope it's all right. uh, if anybody wants to connect with me, I will link my Twitter account below. I am into a lot of things. I'm a reader, so I'm in a lot of book fandoms. I'm also I'm also into MBTI theory a lot, and Haikyuu, and I have recently got into Jujutsu Kaisen, and I'm also BTS Army. So if you want to, connect with me, you can always find me on Twitter. I think that's it. I don't really have anything else to share. I just wanted to share my story of self-diagnosis, because I know for many people it's not easy, because we are always searching for that external, validation. And so yeah, that's it. I'm sorry this has been so casual, and I did not even prepare any presentation or anything. I hope it's okay. Thank you for listening to me and giving me your time. That's it.
That is so sweet, Lim. Look at the. I know you didn't get time to look at your chat box. Please read the chat box now.
Yeah, actually, I didn't read it, because if I had read it, I would just, I would have to stop the sound also.
Yeah. So now you
Thank
read it and
you.
you'll know. So many
Okay.
people are so inspired by your authentic sharing.
Thank you.
Oh, and by the way, this is the first time that Lim uh, is speaking to an audience, isn't it, Lim?
I mean, I have done in school, college, and university presentation, but I have not really spoken on any. I mean, at an event like this.
And you did so wonderful first time. High five.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just go now then and mute it.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
You're so sweet.